they showed my son, who's like, he's 17. He went to a party, like a house party or whatever the kids call it. And he walked in, and in one of the rooms, they were showing Step Brothers, and he said, I just walked out. He just saw it and turned around and just walked out. I was like, that's a good call.
Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, Sad, Confused begins now.
I'm Josh Horowitz, and today on Happy, Sad, Confused, we're live at the 92nd Street Y with Kathryn Hahn, everybody. Yes! Kathryn Hahn is in the house. She is joy personified. You see Kathryn Hahn on the screen, you are happy. I smile, unless she's making you cry. That happens too. But she can do it all. Step Brothers, Transparent, everything and anything, film, TV, and now headlining her own Disney Plus Marvel show, Agatha All Along. I'm so privileged to say she is a Happy, Sad, Confused regular. This is her fourth time, but the first time here at 92Y. So give a warm New York City welcome to the one and only Kathryn Hahn, everybody. Come on. Kathryn, they seem happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. We're all happy to see you.
You guys, this is so nice. I miss New York.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us on Friday the 13th. Talk about perfect timing, Kathryn, for this show.
I know, I planned it that way.
Well done. Well done. Are you a superstitious person? We're on the superstition scale. A lot of actors are pretty superstitious. Where are you on?
I am. I had family. I grew up in Ohio, and a lot of my family lived in the southern part in this town called Waynesville. Waynesville, Ohio, their like catchphrase, if you look it up, is the second most haunted city in Ohio.
Gotta be
which I really want to do a documentary on. But, so yeah, I learned a lot from my cousins there about some superstitions. And now even as I'm leaving my hat or shoes on the bed, I'm like, oh, shouldn't have done that, but they're there.
Right.
And so far,
you're fine.
I'm okay.
You have your own Marvel Disney Plus show, so things are going okay, apparently, despite the shoes on the bed. Do you have any specific rituals before a take, before a scene, before the first day of a shoot?
Oh, I mean, not really. Before this one, we would just do a lot of, I had some spell moves that I would kind of embody.
What is that?
Well, exactly. I worked with like this amazing movement coach that worked with Lizzie too, because we wanted to find our own like language for each specific witch, that she had her own way of having her magic, so it didn't look just general hands. So that was very fun to get into the digits, I think.
Once it's in the digits, as they say in acting school, once it's in your digits.
Yeah, have you dropped into your digits?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's what Meisner always said, right?
Always drop into your digits.
Yeah. So just to lay it out on the table, let's just say what this is, and then let's digest this for a moment. You, Kathryn Hahn, are starring, you are the headliner in your own, again, I'll say it one more time, Marvel Disney Plus series with, alongside Aubrey Plaza, Patti LuPone, an amazing ensemble. Which part of that sentence is the most bizarre for you?
All of it, every single one of it. Just to say Aubrey and Patti in the same sentence is like enough. Like that's, I mean, and Sashir and Zamata and Deborah Jo, like they're and Joe Locke. So this is an incredible. It's like a murderer's row of actors. It's incredible. But then to have the same writer as WANDAVISION, who I love so much, Jack Schaefer, and the same production team as it was WANDAVISION. So the whole thing was like a pinch me moment. It really did feel like a fever dream. Until we got, the whole summer after I found out they wanted to do this, until that first day, really did feel so out of body. Then we just got to the business of making it. So we were just kind of in it, making it. And now it's starting to feel like a fever dream again too, because I see these posters and it's just very oh my God, it feels very surreal.
Before,
Every time you say it, I'm like, trying to,
in the best possible way.
in the best possible way.
So before we dig into this series, let's go back to your first interaction, how you came aboard into WandaVision. Had you ever been up for anything in the superhero land?
No, I mean, I was an animated Doc Ock in Into the Spider-Verse, so I love that movie. I love those movies, but so I kind of had like a little taste and a amuse-bouche
Right.
of Marvel. But then this was like, I'd never gone into their offices or had any general or met with him or anything, but I was asked to go in for a general, kind of randomly to me, and I met with Mary Lavanos, our amazing producer, and with Lou Esposito, and met with Kevin and that day. And it was just like very general. And you hear about these meetings and you're like, oh, maybe you'll hear back in a week, maybe maybe never, or maybe 3 years from now. Like, you just don't have any idea. So I had no expectation. And then the next day, my manager called and was like, so I think they have a specific part for you. Like, you should go in and meet with them again. And it was this witch. And I was like, well, you had me at witch.
Well, and look, that was such a big swing of a show. It was the first Disney Plus series for Marvel. And, I mean, obviously, this whole entire crowd, I'm sure, loved WandaVision as I did. It was, yeah, come on. But it was a big swing. I mean, you're recreating different tropes of sitcoms. It's also a meditation on grief. It's superheroes. It's a lot of things. What kind of kept you moored? What kind of kept you centered on that set? Obviously, you were working with some veterans like Lizzie and Paul that kind of knew the Marvel drill. But my sense is everybody was kind of like, is this going to work? Like, this is...
Yeah, there was a really great feeling of abandon because nothing like this had happened in Marvel before, and the freedom that we felt from Kevin and everybody at Marvel to be able to do something high concept like this and just trust. Like, it just felt like we just had to throw ourselves into it with as much technique and focus and just process as we could. And that one, it was almost, there was a game to it to be as specific as possible to every decade. And sitcoms are sitcoms. So the point was to make people laugh. The point's to have a family hearth that you watch. That's the television that you sit around and watch. So there was a specific intention during that. And so, yeah, that was a big swing, but there was also a lot to hold on to.
When you found out you were getting your own theme song, how big a moment is that?
No, guys, it's bananas. But I didn't think, of course, I did it in 45 minutes with the Lopez's in a sound booth virtually. And they had already written this incredible music, and we basically did it like karaoke. She was like, okay, now do it like Pat Benatar. Now do it like da-da-da-da. Now do it. So I think it was Pat Benatar we landed on, but it was just fun. It was just, and we had no idea. I had no idea that it was going to be what do they call them? Earworms?
Earworm, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you at keeping secrets? Because one of the amusing things when I think back to when this show was being announced and publicized, I mean, the first time I interviewed you was on a carpet promoting the film at something called D23, and you were nosy neighbor. That's all you were known as for a long time. Yeah,
I was.
Were you able to? Did friends and family know? Because this is serious stuff, Kathryn.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? It was actually, I kind of liked having secrets because you didn't have that much to answer. You just could say nothing. I pled the fifth a lot, so it made interviews a lot easier.
Yeah, sorry.
There's not a lot of time and not a lot of content,
right.
So you just gotta walk on by. It made it much easier.
Yeah, I suppose. Not for me, but yeah, whatever.
I didn't even tell my kids, though.
Okay.
No, I was so paranoid. I didn't tell my kids. I didn't tell my reps. Nobody knew anything. Yeah, I took it very seriously.
All right, so let's talk about the journey, the metaphorical and literal journey we find Agatha on this season. Where's she at? How's she doing?
Well, I don't think you need to see WandaVision to see this show, but if you had, she's basically trapped in the spell that Wanda had put her in at the end of WandaVision. And so she's without her power, she's trapped in this role as nosy neighbor, and then these events happen with, to Wanda at the end of, Doctor Strange and the like. So Wanda's maybe to her knowledge, Wanda's dead. I mean, Wanda's dead, and there starts to be cracks in this spell bubble, and I think that's what kind of shakes her out of this nosy neighbor into these other genres. For her, it was happened to be a prestige crime drama. A woman detective with a past. Her life is her work. She only focuses on that. She has no other. She really does have no life except for the job. And even if they take her badge, she's suspended for months. She's still gonna go after the case. So that was kind of what her energetically was like, her drive. Right. And then once it's kind of cracked open by a couple of people, human things, whatever, mysterious teen, and also this very complicated old relationship, which was very twisted and complicated and toxic maybe, but also loving with this woman Rio, that it's only through them that I start to really emerge. And then it just becomes about me trying to get my power back by any means necessary.
As alluded to before, you were surrounded by a really stellar ensemble. There is no better casting. This is destined to be Aubrey Plaza as a witch.
I know.
No, this is serious. She lives and breathes this. She's written like a children's book about a witch.
Yes.
She is a witch.
She goes on talk shows as a witch.
Yeah.
No, I know. We were laughing when she first got it. I was like, you've been Sean Younging this part your whole life. But she is a witch. So is Patty. I feel like a witch. Patty's like, I'm a witch. And I believe it. She's definitely a witch. I feel like we all were witches in this coven. I feel like there's a lot of witches in here, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Major witch energy.
Major witches. Witch, please. Thank you.
Trademarked it. Shameless, but I love it.
It's already getting old, but not to me.
Nope. Singing alongside Patti LuPone is like...
relaxing.
Yeah, super chill. It's like, why don't you just play basketball with LeBron James, yes. Open for Taylor Swift.
I know.
What's that like?
I mean, it's definitely like you have to do some Jedi mind tricks, but she's a creature of the theater. So it's all about lifting each other up. She's like an ensemble through and through. So it was all about melding our voices together and just making this, and we all have such different voices and such different like vocal backgrounds that to be able to, you really had to just find your place, your instrument in this group. So she's like, I'm not usually in the chorus, but.
We know Patty.
Oh, we know. So it was that kind of tension for her added to it, but also I think she really enjoyed it. Like we all, worshipped her, and she was the best to hang out with backstage. Backstage, exactly.
Look, there are two categories in life for things you should either take a total crapshoot on or things you really shouldn't. For instance, maybe try the new almond milk or oat milk alternative for your coffee today. Why not? What's the harm? Maybe try that new exercise class you've been hearing all about on Instagram. Totally cool. Here's something that should not ever be a total crapshoot: finding the right doctor. Your health is too important. And with ZocDoc, it's not a crapshoot anymore because you've got more options than you know. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every conceivable specialty: mental health, dental health, eye care, skin care, anything you can imagine. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. I've used ZocDoc, and you should too. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/happysad to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/happysad. ZocDoc.com/happysad.
We should talk about Joe Locke, because Joe Locke is killing it in the universe right now. Heartstopper.
He's so special.
And very early in his career. This is one of his first roles.
His second piece on camera. I mean, he's incredible. I think he's turning 21 in like a week and a half. He's done, Heartstopper. He did a play in the West End, and then he did Sweeney Todd. And then I think it was this and then Sweeney Todd. Sorry. But he's incredible. He's such a special person.
So it's always amazing to see a confident, naturally gifted actor at that age. You've been acting since you were a kid. I'm curious, Kathryn, what were you like at that age or even earlier? You were acting earlier than that. What were you like as a child actor?
I'm going to take you back.
Lie down.
Cleveland Playhouse. What? Oh, okay. Okay. I can't imagine. Do you mean Hickory Hideouts on YouTube? Okay. I did a show called Hickory Hideout after being in the Cleveland Playhouse, in which I played a character named Jenny, and I worked with two puppets named, maybe you know.
Are you a true Hickory Hideout fan?
Yes, it's two names. It's Nutso and Shirley Squirrely.
Sure.
Yeah, and they were in a treehouse, and I would go to ask questions. I would knock on the treehouse, and there would be an owl puppet named Know It Owl, and I would be like, "Do braces hurt?" Or like, "My parents are getting divorced," and they would take care of me.
You know what the only thing better than talking about Hickory Hideout is? It's watching a clip from Hickory Hideout.
You're a sneaky bastard.
Let's take a look at Hickory Hideout, everybody.
Let's do it.
Hi, is everybody ready to play table tennis?
Well, now that's a game I've really mastered.
Hi.
Oh, wow, look at Jenny.
Jenny, your hair looks nice.
Thanks, I had it done. It's still the same, but at least it's a little different. Does Wayne still want to play table tennis?
Sure, he's got the game all set up. Come on, let's go.
I'm lucky to be me. I'm lucky to be me. You're lucky to be you. You're lucky to be you. It didn't take us long to discover that was true. I like me as I am. I like you as you are. The way we are is fine. We'll be ourselves in all we do.
Do you feel stoned right now after watching that? As I do.
Yeah, we are all on a trip together tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, let's take this trip.
How do you feel?
Okay, oof, I feel a lot of feelings right now. First of all, she really knew how to face the camera. That was what she knew. She loved to shake her knit sweater with a turtle, and that haircut was the cut. It was the way to go. The puppeteers who played Nutso and Shirley Squirrely, I do remember, I think I was like, I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I think 6th to 8th grade, they were like best friends that lived together and chain smoked. And I was always like, gosh, this is a hardcore life, a puppeteer.
Welcome to showbiz, kid.
Them underneath the ping pong table, just always dig down, crouched, mad. Just seemed so, but I loved them.
What was the ultimate dream of teenager, 20-year-old, as you're getting started in your career? What did you imagine, at best, the career could be?
Well, it started so before this. Like, I think I must have been in kindergarten. And then it was like the Playhouse and working with this. That's back when like regional theaters had like rep companies. So you would see them play Macbeth one night and Noises Off the next night. It was the same group of actors. So that thrill is like baked into my bones somehow, like the ability of being able to switch genres and tone and playwrights and all of it night to night with the same group of people. So that had been in me for a long time. What's weird is whenever I'm asked that question of like, did you always want to be an actor? And I honestly want to say, yeah, I did. I had no other thing I had ever wanted to do. I would sometimes pretend to be like a marine biologist to like try it on, but like I didn't see I couldn't imagine what it was going to look like. I didn't know where it was going to end up. I had no like, I'm going to be a star. Like I had none of that. I just wanted to act. I thought maybe I would be doing regional theater and be very happy and then when I got to New York, it was like, oh my God, I'd be happy to do, off of Broadway stuff. Like I just didn't anticipate anything. And so that's why this is all such a weird dream.
Well, and it has been unpredictable. I mean, even like coming out of drama school, like I guess the first giant kind of opportunity is a double-edged sword. It's an amazing thing to get a network show, and you're on Crossing Jordan for a number of years, and
Crojo, Crossing Jordash.
And I know from talking to you in the past, like my guess is that in some ways, yeah, amazing opportunity and rewarding, and I'm sure you love the people, but it's also a bit of a gilded cage in some ways. You're seeing your contemporaries kind of do the artsy work, the theater, the cool indies, and you're probably making good money, but you're in one lane. Is that fair to say?
It is very fair to say. I was in it just as a guest star, and then it just kind of kept blooming, and all of a sudden I was a regular, and I was like doing this crime procedural, which I loved that cast. I loved being in it. I was definitely playing a grief counselor in the morgue, which is a role that I don't think exists in real life. But I remember I had tattoos for so long, and then all of a sudden, like the next episode, they were like, "Lily, your tattoos," and I was like, "Yeah, didn't I tell you I had them removed?" And also, I'm starting to be it was like a real quick character switch in one episode. But yeah, I know what you mean. It wasn't like I was comparing myself to anybody else. It was just, and I was paying off like a shit ton of student loans. Like there was so much. I was kind of buried in them. So I was very grateful. But I definitely did feel that feeling of like, I can't wait I never saw myself as an ingenue, or that I was like, I never saw myself that way, and I think it had so much to do with self-worth and da-da-da-da at that moment. But like I just was grateful, and also to your point, I did feel restless. As grateful as I am for that, I was really chomping at the bit to start it all. It didn't feel like I felt like, oh, this could be just like, those shows went 23 episodes a year. It's a lot.
And you're doing film work through those years, and you're kind of doing some of the best friend roles and that kind of a thing.
Right, on the hiatuses.
And then it seems like, if you're going to program a double bill in a single year, do Revolutionary Road and Step Brothers in 2008. Come on. That's all you need to prove your range right there, those two films.
Oh, that was a dreamy summer, and also really did do something. It felt like that childhood me was able to finally happen. Like to be able to go from the anarchic comedy of Adam McKay and feel that freedom, which I really changed me as a performer, even going forward to anything else genre-wise. Like that kind of way of working blew my mind.
Yeah.
Not to be so polite, I guess, or like be on the mark or have to do something right. You know what I mean? Like just check off the good actor part, just to be like there and available and just try to be, you had to listen incredibly well because you didn't know what was going to be thrown at you. And then Revolutionary Road, which was very tightly, like incredibly composed, incredibly detailed. The writing was so specific and gorgeous. And there's also a crazy freedom in that. So it was a really fun summer.
of those two, I mean, I love Revolutionary Road, but I'm obviously going to show a Step Brothers clip. I'm sorry.
They showed my son, who's like, he's 17. He went to a party, like a house party or whatever the kids call it. And he walked in, and in one of the rooms, they were showing Step Brothers, and he said, I just walked out. He just saw it and turned around and just walked out. I was like, that's a good call.
I was going to say, like, are your teenagers like the only teenagers on the planet that cannot appreciate a Marvel show and Step Brothers, or can they disassociate? Can they separate the mom out of it?
I think it's really hard to separate the mom out of like Step Brothers, but I think with the Marvel stuff, it's fun. Like watching WandaVision together as a family was, because I didn't tell anybody about it. So we really watched together in real time, and that was very fun.
So, I mean, there's always this cliche that sometimes isn't, sadly, a cliche about actors and like, oh, at a certain age, it's going to dry up. You're not going to have opportunity or roles. And it's fascinating to look at the decade for you of your 40s, which is an amazing decade of work. Again, the variety, and this is just a small snapshot, on TV from Transparent to Parks and Rec, big film comedies like the Bad Moms films, We're the Millers, and these great kind of like indie dramedies, whether it's, you know, Captain Fantastic, Private Life, Afternoon Delight. It's striking, and not many actors have that kind of range and opportunity. I guess my first question about that broad subject is like, were you steeling yourself? Had you heard that about an actress's career, and were you kind of steeling yourself for what was to come at a certain age, or not? Is that something in your mind?
No. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the chapter in which I was asked to bring my whole self to, with these incredible women writers, directors, happened to be the chapter post-children. So that any kind of idea I had about invisibility or whatever was not there. And it's only gotten richer and richer, the stuff I've been able to play. So I really I haven't felt that. And I don't think a lot of women have felt that. I feel like it just, more and more parts are available because this is an audience that is hungry for those stories to be told. And that's why I even think in this show, at Agatha, like, I think it's so moving to me that it is about women. I want to like, it's almost like for young women, you want to say like, hey, you know how there's the maiden, mother, crone in that Hecate? So that the crone phase, we hold all women all the time. We hold the maiden, the mother, and the crone in us all the time. They're always there. And heading toward the crone, that it is actually our most powerful part of ourselves, because that's the wisest. Yes, that's the wisest part. And that's when all the superficial currencies that we thought we had, our looks, our tension from whatever, like all that stuff starts to fall away, and it's just she who knows. And that's a pretty powerful place to be.
Who are the filmmakers or writers that you feel have most kind of opened you up, like opened your world, opened your mind in your career?
Well, I would definitely say Tamara Jenkins, because she fills the screen with such detail and care, and every little inch of a screen has been investigated deeply. And so I really respect her openness in her writing and her passion as a director and filmmaker. And it's just also beautiful. Like she knows herself so well. She knows what hears right. What hears right? What sounds right? Like I'm blown away. And you know, I think also the collaborations I've had with Joey Soloway have been really opening in those ways, because I was also like the same DP. We'd work on I Love Dick and Transparent together. Oh, really? Yay! We all kind of like found this language of working that just really was awesome.
Well, and also, look, I mean, it's always a privilege for any actor to be in projects that touch culture and really transcend. I mean, something like Transparent.
Yes.
I mean, I would imagine the interactions you have based on that are pretty intense and powerful and special.
Yeah, I still, one of my nearest and dearest, and we still take hikes on the regular, is Rabbi Susan Goldberg, who is my my doctor. No, she was my mentor and guide through that, and we're still dear friends. And yeah, that changed me on a pretty profound level for all of us. Yeah.
It does feel like some of the work that I enjoy the most that you've gravitated towards is like either comedies injected with drama or drama injected with comedy. Like that's where the juicy stuff is.
Always, because that feels the most human.
Yeah.
Is that it's not one or the other. Like we don't live in the black or the white. It's like that messy gray that we just are. And I really am attracted to women that are unabashedly in that space of constantly. So weirdly, it like that chapter kind of, I feel like, led me to the witch. Like she was in there the whole time brewing, because there is something about the grayness of and mysteriousness of a witch's intentions. And there's something about all of those colors in a cackle that I really, connect with.
So in the years as you've now grown to understand and know more about this character, is there stuff in the comics that you have even pitched to Jack, the creative team, to say it would be cool to explore this at some point?
Oh, of her in the comics?
Yeah.
No, because this was such its own bird, but I mean, she's open.
Do you view her hero or villain? What is Agatha now?
I mean, I keep saying, like, I think that she has real main character energy.
Yes.
So I think that even in WandaVision, she thought she was the star. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. Her intention, she has a lot of, she wants what she wants and she'll get it by any means necessary. She's like duplicitous. She's a sadist. She's wicked funny. She's hates feelings. And the idea of working with other witches is like disgusting.
As I understand it, again, the comics, she's been many different things. She's been the governess, I think, for the Fantastic
Four. She was a
Four.
nanny.
Could you imagine Agatha taking a turn and being a governess for a nanny for the Fantastic Four kid?
Listen, she's had to do a lot of things to survive.
Who would you like? I mean, we need to see Agatha at some point on the big screen, obviously. No-brainer. Who do we want to see? I feel like there are so many options. Doctor Strange and Agatha could have an interesting conversation.
Yes, that would be fun too. Because these are, like, I keep thinking about witches, and this is the first time an old school learned witch that learned from their mother's covens, their grandmother's covens. Like, these are the first witches that are like rooted to the earth. The Scarlet Witch is so untrained. She's just born with this incredible chaos and magic. So I don't know. I think that witches are a really great, great way in anywhere. And that's why when it was a witch that I was proposed to enter the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I was like, it really felt wicked stepsistery. Like we were getting away with something. Like we were coming in through like a side door, all of us. We were like, don't mind me, don't mind. So, and we were, because it really did feel like, when is someone going to pull the plug?
Yeah. Excuse me, Mr. Captain America. I'm going to come in over here.
Yes, exactly. But I do think that there would be a lot of potential fun in just dropping a witch into any grouping of Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How plugged in are you? Maybe you were before, but like now we know Downey's back as Doctor Doom, and there's going to
Yes.
be 2 Avengers movies. Like, are you just like us, kind of learning this as it goes, or are you?
Oh, yeah. No one tells anybody anything.
Yeah.
So complete, all of it is a complete delightful surprise.
You're always a busy lady. I know you're in a project that sounds really cool to me. This is from Seth and Evan. Seth.
Oh, it's
Seth
gonna be
Rogen,
funny.
Evan Goldberg.
Yeah.
Apple Show.
Yes.
The Studio. Tell me, what can I know? What should I know?
Yeah, it's called The Studio. It's about a fictional Hollywood studio that's scrambling to, this might sound familiar to some, but it's struggling to maintain the balance between, big blockbusters making money and small, award-worthy small films. And so there's a constant struggle in that tension in the show. So I play the head of marketing, excuse me.
Oh, congrats. Yeah.
And I really want to keep my finger on the pulse of pop culture. So I got a lady at Saks.
That keeps you plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously.
Yeah. And Seth and Evan are amazing. And such dear humans. Catherine O'Hara is in it, who's like an idol. Bryan Cranston, who's hilarious. Ike Barinholtz, Peach. And then the cameos are bonkers.
Sure.
It's really fun who said yes to showing up as themselves.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how plugged into pop culture is Kathryn Hahn?
Oh, I mean, I will try to make jokes to my daughter, and she's like, that's been over for so long.
I know you're watching a chimp documentary, excuse me.
Yes.
That's top of your list right now of must-see
I got
recs?
one more episode of Chimp Crazy, yes.
I'm crazy.
I highly recommend it.
Are you a Swiftie? Are you a what's your bag musically speaking? It felt like when I said Swiftie, you didn't even know what I was saying.
I was like,
honest.
no, I definitely went to see Taylor Swift with my daughter, and I was crying. Really? I loved it. And then I saw all the stuff with my daughter, I guess. I went to see Olivia Rodrigo with my daughter and her friends, which was actually gorgeous. I just shouldn't say actually, it was amazing. But who opened for her, and this made me respect her even more, was the Breeders. I was like, what? And like, we were the only people rocking out, and I was like, oh, this is lost on you people. This is the Breeders.
How would you define? I feel like you have probably a really cool level of fame. Like you've got like really warm. I feel like you must get nice, warm.
I have really great. Yeah, the people that recognize me are so freaking sweet. I like my fans.
You don't.
Too.
You probably don't get. Yeah. You don't get like the TMZ question at the airport level.
No.
You're not that. You're right where you.
No.
Need to be.
Yeah. TMZ's like, get out of the way. Because they know it's going to be nothing except being like, no, I lost my shoes, so these are my Birkenstocks.
Yeah. Have you seen Chimp Crazy? Yeah.
No, I can't answer that, but I want to talk about Chimp Crazy if you're down.
I mean, we keep talking about this amazing breadth of your career. It seems like every conceivable genre you've touched on. Is there any genre that has left to be mined for Kathryn Hahn? I don't know if I've seen we haven't seen the full-on musical. You obviously you sing in this. Full-on musical, Western. What do we need?
I thought you were going to be, we haven't seen the football, Kathryn.
The football.
Hahn.
I need you as Travis Kelce in the biopic.
I don't know. Like, I'm telling you, I've just been able to, like, wherever it goes, it goes. Like, to me, it's like, I don't know. It's always like the writing or the director or the people involved or the, just like, feeling that you want to just jump into the abyss with it. Just simply which. Like all of that, it's just kind of in the soup. There's a lot of stuff I'd love. I mean, there's a lot of genres I love. I love horror. So I love horror. So like this was fun to be able to kind of like meditate on and play with a lot of different kinds of horror.
Are you ready for the happy, sad, confused, profoundly random questions, Kathryn Hahn?
I don't know, but I'll find out soon.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Dogs or cats?
Oof. That's a really hard decision. I can't choose between those two children. I mean,
What do you own at home?
I own both, so that's what I mean. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. They're all rescues. Meow, they're so cute. We have one dog though, who we were told was when we adopted him was a lab terrier mix, and then we did the DNA test, and he is a he's a Chihuahua pit bull.
It's an easy mistake. That happens a lot. Yeah. Does it make sense now in retrospect?
I mean, I can't think about it that hard because the mind reels.
Do you collect anything? What do you collect?
Oh, I collect snow globes, little ones from airports.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Little memories from cities,
Okay.
countries, towns.
Yeah. Just open up one door in the Hahn home and you see just wall-to-wall snow globes.
Oh, it's got a glass door on it. It's I'm very proud of it. Also, 1 in 5 make it. I mean, 4 out of 5 make it home.
Right.
And the others, I open up my suitcase. And I'm like, just shards of glass and glitter. It's a bummer.
Not the most practical keepsake, but it's worth it. If
No,
you can
it's
preserve
not.
it.
But when they survive,
Oh, what a
that makes them
joy.
even more
Yeah.
special.
What's the wallpaper on your phone?
I was like, what's wallpaper on my phone?
Do you own a phone?
I own such an old one, and my kids have to tell me how to use it. Like, they literally will write notes for me in the phone being like, this one, in all caps. I'm like, what is this? And I press this one, and it's just so that their phone numbers come up as in my notifications. Because I've asked them so many times. No, I think it's a picture of me and my hubby, which is really sweet.
Yeah, you're not on social media at all. You never have been. That's why you're a sane, well-adjusted human being, apparently.
That's why I have my finger on the pulse.
That's right. What's the worst note a director has ever given you, Kathryn?
Oh. A worst note. I would say something in the ballpark of asking. Sometimes as a director will ask you to do exactly what you just did. Like they forgot that they just saw it. So they think that and they're like, okay. But like, it's because they're inspired by what just happened. So they want to, I guess, repeat it again. But you're like, but we just did that, I think.
But they're presenting it as brand new.
Yeah, because I honestly don't think they think it's brand new.
Right. Huh.
So you want to give them respect, but also be like, are you losing your mind?
Do you want to hit the rewind button? Because I think I just gave it to you.
But then you do it because you have to. And always you learn more anyway when you do it again.
And finally, in the spirit of happy, sad, confused, who's an actor that always makes you happy?
Always makes me happy. I would say, Paul Giamatti always makes me happy when I see him. Always. And there's a couple of them that you're just like, you just can't stop smiling. John C. Reilly. Paul Rudd makes me laugh. Just seeing his mug makes me laugh.
A movie that makes you sad?
Always Sophie's Choice, because it's hardcore. Minari really made me sad in like a unexpected way. I would say, there's so many good ones last year. I have so many, I can't remember anything, but so I'm going to say Zone of Interest really killed me. Yeah, that got under my skin and ooh.
Yeah. Good one. And finally, just as important, a food that makes you confused. You see it on the menu. I don't understand. Why do people eat that? It's not for me. What is this about?
Tripe.
Oh. Is that intestine?
It's stomach lining.
Yes, yeah.
I just think no, thank you. But to people, it's a delicacy. So, fine.
To each his own.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Just not for me.
No.
Tripe jerky, maybe I could dig into that. But like just seeing a spongy tripe, no.
Yeah. We had the Hickory Hideout clip, but I do not have tripe jerky for you ready today. So I'm 1 for 2. It's been a long press tour for you. You're spreading the good word all around the world. So I really appreciate you taking the time in New York City tonight.
I've always wanted to do this. So thank you for having me.
The show, of course, is Agatha All Along. Spread the good word. Give it up one more time, New York City, for Kathryn Hahn, everybody. Come on.
Thank you, guys. You're an awesome audience.
And so ends another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Remember to review, rate, and subscribe to this show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a big podcast person. I'm Daisy Ridley, and I definitely wasn't pressured to do this by Josh.